The cold night on the space station felt endless. Metal walls shivered under the hum of failing machinery. A harsh wind howled outside, rattling the small windows that looked into the void of space. Alarms flashed in the distance, warning of power surges no one could fix alone. Inside one of the narrow corridors, a lone human moved slowly, his boots clanging against the metal floor. He pulled his jacket tighter around his shoulders. Though it did little against the biting chill, every step echoed, making the silence feel heavier. Something about the station tonight felt different, as if the shadows themselves were watching. He stopped by a panel, inspecting blinking lights. The display flickered with strange codes he did not fully understand. Sweat ran down his face despite the cold, worry gnawing at his mind. One wrong move here, and the station could plunge into darkness. He bent closer, fingers moving over buttons, trying to stabilize the circuits. Then he heard it, a soft, almost fragile sound, like a small shiver echoing in the halls. He froze, listening carefully, his heart beating faster than it should. From the corner of his eye, he saw a movement. A small figure stumbled toward him, dragging itself across the floor. The human blinked, rubbing his eyes, thinking the cold was making him hallucinate. But no, it was real. A creature unlike anything he had seen. It was small, humanoid, with pale skin that almost glowed in the dim light. Its eyes were wide and filled with fear, darting around as if every shadow could swallow it whole. The human instinctively stepped forward, voice barely a whisper. "Hey, who are you?" The creature did not answer, only shivered harder, curling into itself like it could become invisible if it tried. The human hesitated, fear and curiosity battling inside him. He could feel the danger in the air. The station itself seemed unstable, yet something about the small alien drew him closer. It moved slowly, almost crawling, and without a word it stepped inside his quarters. He watched, stunned. As it huddled against the wall, shivering violently, the warmth of his room seemed to offer it comfort. Yet the alien did not dare speak. It simply stared at him with eyes so deep, he felt they could see into his soul. The human swallowed hard, thinking about the risks. Allowing a stranger inside someone unknown could be dangerous, but he could not ignore it, not when it was so cold. So fragile, so clearly in need, he stepped forward, holding out his hand. "It's okay. You can stay. For now." The alien hesitated, then slowly crawled closer, its body trembling against his warmth. For the first time, he noticed the subtle glow along its skin, like veins of light running under thin layers. He realized this was not just any creature. It carried something special, something alive and unknown. The station groaned as if protesting the presence of the alien. Lights flickered, shadows danced along the walls, creating shapes that made him flinch. Every sound, every hum of the machinery seemed louder now, more dangerous. He glanced at the small being, noticing its sharp ears twitch at each noise, its small hands gripping the edge of the table. It was alert, wary, yet desperate, trusting him enough to come into his quarters. The human felt a strange mix of fear and responsibility. He knew one mistake tonight could cost them both dearly. Suddenly, the station shuddered, sending sparks from a nearby console. The human grabbed the alien, pulling it away from the danger. Its small body pressed against his chest. Shivering uncontrollably, he could feel its rapid heartbeat, faster than normal, almost frantic. It seemed every part of it feared the cold, the station and the unknown outside. He whispered softly, though it could not understand, "You're safe now. I've got you." Even in the silence, the words seemed to calm it slightly, if only for a moment. Outside, the wind slammed against the station walls with increasing force. The temperature sensors warned of a drop that could freeze unprotected systems in minutes. He knew staying here long was dangerous, but leaving it alone in the halls would be worse. The alien clung to him, curling into a ball, eyes wide but slowly relaxing as he held it. He noticed the faint sound of its soft breaths. Almost like music, something about the rhythm felt familiar, like a heartbeat he had known long ago. The human realized he was not just protecting a stranger. He was responsible for a life unlike any other. And in that moment, the station groaned again. Louder this time, power flickered, and he could see the dark corners of the corridors stretching like hungry shadows. He tightened his hold on the small alien, ready for whatever would come next, because tonight, they were alone together in a station full of dangers, cold, dark, and unknown, and something told him this was only the beginning. The alien girl still trembled in his arms, her small body barely fitting against the warmth of the human's chest. The cold of the station seemed relentless, biting even through layers of metal walls and machinery. Yet inside his quarters a faint warmth began to settle. He set her gently on the edge of the bed, covering her with the thin blanket he had. Her eyes, large and glowing faintly, followed his every move. She made small noises, soft and broken, not words, but almost like a cry mixed with curiosity. The human knelt beside her, studying her carefully, trying to understand. Every instinct told him to be cautious, yet he could not bring himself to push her away. Outside, the station hummed uneasily, metal creaking and lights flickering. The air conditioning system struggled against the freezing temperature outside. He could hear distant alarms echoing down the corridors, but they seemed muted here. The alien girl's species was clearly fragile in this cold. Her hands, small and delicate, traced patterns on the blanket as if searching for comfort. Finally, she spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. A strange sound, rhythmic, almost musical, yet entirely alien. The human tilted his head, trying to follow, catching small repeated sounds like grp, tss, and it made no sense, but he could feel the urgency behind it. She was trying to communicate something important. He reached for his communicator, hoping to call for help, but the screen flickered, showing a weak connection, a warning that the station systems were failing. He knew that if he left now, the girl might be left alone in the freezing corridors, so he stayed, kneeling beside her, listening, watching, trying to understand. Slowly, a small bond formed not through words, but through the shared silence. Her glowing eyes reflected his own. Searching, wary, yet trusting, she reached for his hand, tiny fingers pressing against his palm. It was a simple act, yet it carried weight heavier than any alarm or flashing light. The human tried to speak to her again, his voice low, calm. "You're safe. I won't hurt you." She shivered, but did not pull away. Her eyes seemed to study him, measuring his intent. Then, without warning, she darted to the small table, picking up a strange object, a small piece of technology, glowing faintly with colors he did not recognize. She held it out to him, making the same soft noises, repeating them with urgency. The human realized it was some kind of signal device, alien and unknown. It pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat. Almost like a warning, he took it carefully, feeling the strange warmth it emitted. Something told him it was important, possibly a key to understanding why she had come here. Suddenly, a loud metallic clang echoed from the hallway. Startling both of them, the girl jumped back, pressing herself against the wall, her glowing eyes wide with fear. The human stood slowly, shielding her with his body, eyes scanning the dark corridor. Another sound followed, a scraping, deliberate, as if someone was moving with purpose. They both froze, listening, the room now filled with tension. The alien girl hissed softly, a sound almost like a warning. The human realized she was aware of things he could not see. Her senses were sharper, tuned to threats invisible to human eyes. He made a decision, slow and careful. "Stay here. Don't move." "I'll check it out." She shook her head violently, making soft, urgent sounds, her small hands pressed against his chest. Stopping him for a moment, he hesitated, realizing she trusted him but also warned him. Her instincts were stronger than his caution. He nodded slowly, understanding the unspoken message. They were stronger together. Not apart, he stayed kneeling beside her. As she shifted slightly, curling closer, still trembling, the device she had given him pulsed faintly, lighting up the room in soft waves of blue and green. Minutes passed, filled only with the sounds of the station and her soft breaths. The human studied her, noticing small details, the way her ears twitched at every sound, the subtle glow beneath her skin, moving like veins of light. He realized this was no ordinary alien, not just fragile but extraordinary. Suddenly, she made a different sound, longer and sharper. It echoed strangely, bouncing off the walls almost like a pattern. He tried to mimic it, matching rhythm, tone, and sequence. To his surprise, she responded, small nods, soft glow intensifying. It was the first step in real communication. Fragile and imperfect, yet promising. Outside, the station groaned again, metal twisting, warning of distant damage. The temperature outside was dropping faster, life support systems struggling. He could hear faint echoes of alarms and machinery warnings. He knew they could not stay long in this room if the station failed completely. But for now, there was a fragile moment of trust between them. She leaned slightly toward him, small fingers brushing against his arm. It was a simple gesture, but it meant she believed he could protect her. And for the first time tonight, the human allowed himself to feel hope. He whispered softly, "We'll get through this." Together. The alien girl's eyes blinked, glowing faintly in agreement. The station continued its groans and flickers, darkness pressing at the edges, but in that small room, two beings from entirely different worlds had found warmth, not just from blankets or heaters, but from trust and shared presence. And in the cold, quiet night, a bond began to form, a bond that could challenge the dangers waiting in the shadows of the station. Because in this place, fear was real, but so was hope, and both would be tested in ways neither of them could yet imagine. The day inside the station began like every other, but something felt different. The alien girl sat quietly on the edge of the bed. Still trembling, the human watched her carefully, noting the subtle glow that traced her veins like soft ribbons of light. He could sense her unease, but also a strange determination. She held the small glowing device tightly, eyes fixed on it as if it contained the answers to the universe. He approached slowly, trying not to startle her. "What is that?" he asked, keeping his voice low. She looked at him, then down at the device. Making a series of soft, urgent noises, he frowned. Realizing she was trying to communicate something important, he knelt beside her, gently taking the device in his hands. It pulsed softly as if alive. Responding to their combined presence, the light shifted colors. From deep blue to green, then flickered to purple. It was no ordinary technology. He thought it seemed intelligent, almost sentient. The device emitted a sudden burst of sounds, strange patterns of tones and clicks. The alien girl's ears twitched, and she pressed closer to him as if the sounds were warnings. He realized the signals were not random. They were a message, but in a language he could not understand. He tried to mimic the tones, copying them slowly. Careful not to break the rhythm, the girl blinked rapidly, her glow intensifying with each correct sequence. It was the first moment he felt they were beginning to understand each other. Suddenly, the station shook violently, metal groaning like it could split in half. Sparks flew from a nearby console, and alarms screamed loudly. The girl jumped to her feet, small claws gripping the edges of the table for balance. She hissed sharply, a warning that made his skin crawl. From the observation window, he saw a dark shape moving outside the station. Fast, deliberate, and too large for any known ship. The human froze, heart pounding. Realizing they were being watched, the alien girl made a series of urgent clicks, pointing toward the console and then toward the window. He understood. The signal device was alerting them to a threat approaching. He grabbed a maintenance tablet and tried to stabilize the station's external shields. The girl pressed close, hands moving over the device, her glowing veins pulsing with effort. Her soft noises grew louder, forming a rhythm that almost matched the device. He realized she was using her body to amplify the signal, to call for help or to warn someone. The human marveled at her abilities, knowing that no human could replicate what she was doing. The shadows outside grew longer as the dark shape moved closer, almost like it was hunting them. "Who are you?" he whispered almost to himself. The girl did not answer, only made a sharp, urgent sound pointing at him. He understood. It was not the time for words. Action was needed. He moved to the window, peering into the blackness beyond the station walls. The dark shape had no markings, no lights, nothing familiar. It glided silently, slowly, yet its presence was terrifying. The girl's glow brightened. As if preparing for confrontation, he noticed a small panel blinking with warning lights, the station struggling to hold power. The device pulsed in response, almost like a heartbeat, matching the tension in the room. The human took a deep breath, trying to steady himself. He realized that leaving this station now would mean abandoning the alien girl, and possibly condemning her. He grabbed her hand, small fingers clasping his tightly. A bond of trust formed instantly, stronger than fear, stronger than the cold surrounding them. Suddenly, the device emitted a burst of white light, projecting a small holographic map above the console. He saw blinking dots, trails of movement, and one large approaching object, the intruder. The alien girl made sharp, commanding noises, pointing at the largest dot. He realized it was not only a threat to them, but to her entire species. A chill ran down his spine. This was bigger than he could imagine. A galactic-level danger, arriving at their doorstep without warning. The human knew he had to act quickly. He adjusted the station's shields, rerouted power to key sectors, and monitored the intruder's movements. The alien girl moved beside him, using the device to track energy fluctuations. Her glowing eyes scanned the holographic map, calculating paths, predicting movements. Together, they formed a silent team, instincts combining in ways neither fully understood. He realized why she had traveled all this way, why she had come to him. He was the only one who could help, and she trusted him enough to risk everything by being here. Minutes passed, stretched into long, tense moments. The intruder grew closer, shadowy forms moving with purpose. He felt the sweat on his forehead despite the cold. The alien girl's small hand pressed against his arm, grounding him, reminding him that they were not alone. Her voice, soft and musical, clicked again, the device pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. He realized that together, they were stronger than any human alone. And the station, fragile as it was, became a battlefield for survival. The human clenched his fists, feeling determination rise, a warmth growing stronger than fear. They would face this threat. And they would survive because humanity would not give up. And because this small alien girl had chosen him, trusting his courage in the cold, dark night. The shadow outside stopped for a moment, as if sensing their preparation. The device pulsed rapidly, sending signals into the void. And in that brief silence, the human realized that tonight, nothing would ever be the same again. The galaxy had reached out, and he had answered. The alien girl looked up at him, glowing softly, eyes filled with hope and fear, and together, they waited for the storm to hit, knowing that whatever came next, they would face it as one. The human and the alien girl stayed close, the station's dim lights flickering over their tense faces. Outside, the dark shape had not moved, but the shadows it cast stretched unnaturally along the walls. The hum of machinery felt louder, every creak and rattle amplified in the cold silence. He realized the danger was no longer distant. It was already inside, moving through the hallways, unseen. The alien girl's glow brightened slightly, her instincts warning him. She pressed the signal device against her chest, small hands trembling. The device pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat, sending faint lights dancing across the floor. The human gripped a metal rod he had picked up from maintenance. Trying to feel some control, he knew weapons would do little, but he had to appear ready. The girl hissed softly, her sharp gaze scanning every shadow. She could sense what he could not. Her species had a connection to energy, to life itself, and now that connection was alerting her to invisible threats. He motioned for her to stay close, moving toward the hallway slowly. The station's walls twisted in strange angles, corridors branching unpredictably. Every step made his stomach tighten, fear clenching his chest. A faint metallic scraping echoed from somewhere above. Then below, the shadows seemed to move on their own, creeping along the walls with deliberate patience. The alien girl clicked softly, a language he did not understand. Yet the sound was commanding, guiding him, warning him. He realized she was not just fragile, she was a fighter, trained by instincts humans could never mimic. She pointed toward a dark corner. Tiny fingers shaking, he held up the metal rod. Ready then, from the darkness, a pair of glowing eyes appeared, reflecting their own fears. A creature taller than a man, thin and sharp, moved silently toward them. Its skin shimmered in the weak lights, translucent and eerie. The human stepped forward, heart hammering. "Stay behind me," he whispered. Though he doubted it would help, the alien girl did not move. Her small body braced, glow intensifying. She let out a long, soft hiss, and the signal device emitted a sharp pulse of light. The creature recoiled slightly. As if startled by the sound, the human swung the rod, connecting with the wall instead of the creature. It hissed back, low and guttural, a sound that shook the metal around them. The alien girl moved suddenly, small hands outstretched toward the creature. The device pulsed again, brighter this time. The creature froze, eyes narrowing as if sensing a force it could not challenge. The human realized then that she was using her energy to manipulate it. Her species was more than delicate. They had power, raw and dangerous, and she had trusted him enough to fight beside him. Not behind, another shadow moved down the hallway. Silent but deliberate, two more creatures appeared, their eyes glinting with intelligence. The human grabbed the girl's hand. Holding it tightly, she clicked rapidly, small lights flickering from the device. The creatures hesitated, circling, testing the boundaries. He realized this was not a simple attack. They were hunting, and the alien girl's signal device was the bait or the key they sought. He tightened his grip on the metal rod, feeling adrenaline mix with fear. The girl stepped forward. Tiny but fearless, her glow intensified, filling the narrow corridor with soft, shifting light. The creatures paused, one stepping closer, curious, testing. The human whispered, "We can do this." Together. She glanced up at him, eyes glowing fiercely. He understood that she meant it. Together they were unstoppable. The creatures lunged suddenly, fast and silent. The girl pressed the device to her chest. Light bursting outward, the hallway filled with energy. Forcing the creatures back, he swung the rod blindly, but the creatures seemed to avoid him. It was the alien girl's energy that held them at bay. He realized then that their partnership was greater than fear. Her strength, his courage, combined against the darkness. Suddenly, one creature darted toward him from the side. The human braced, ready to strike. The girl reacted instantly, raising her small hands, device pulsing fiercely. A wave of light hit the creature. Knocking it back against the wall, it screeched, a sound that reverberated through the corridors. Two more creatures retreated slightly, unsure. The alien girl's glow dimmed slightly, as if she had exhausted part of her power. He noticed the strain in her small frame. Her breathing quick and shallow, he whispered urgently, "We can't hold them forever, what now?" She looked at him, eyes fierce, almost pleading. Then she made a sound, short and sharp, pointing down a side corridor. He understood. The station had another path. A way to escape, maybe to fight back. He moved toward the corridor, the creatures watching, hesitant but intelligent. The alien girl stayed close, small hand gripping his. Together they ran, shadows pursuing but keeping distance. The signal device pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat, guiding them. Every turn they made was careful, deliberate. The human realized she was leading him. Not just warning, her instincts were sharp. Faster than his mind could process, they reached a small chamber. Lights flickering, machinery humming weakly. The creatures stopped at the entrance. Unwilling to follow, the alien girl exhaled softly. Glow dimming, trembling slightly. He knelt beside her. "We're not safe yet, but we're alive." She leaned against him, small head resting on his shoulder. The warmth between them a stark contrast to the cold threat outside. Outside the station, the shadow lingered, waiting. But inside, two beings from entirely different worlds had discovered trust, power and partnership, and for the first time tonight, the human understood. This alien girl was more than fragile. She was a force, and together, they could challenge whatever the galaxy sent next. The station was silent now, but the human knew the danger had not left. He watched the alien girl carefully, noticing the faint tremor in her small body. Her glow was dimmer than before, pulsing slowly as if conserving energy. He understood that her powers had limits, and each use left her weaker, yet she stood tall beside him, small but unyielding, eyes scanning the hallways. He felt a surge of respect, awe even, at her courage. "Do you know what they want?" he asked quietly, voice low, careful not to alarm her. She clicked softly, almost like a whisper. Pointing toward the central console, the device pulsed rapidly, projecting a faint map of the station. It showed corridors, rooms, and a single large shape moving slowly, almost unseen. He realized this was no ordinary creature. It was hiding, waiting, calculating. He took a deep breath. Trying to steady his nerves, the alien girl stepped forward, placing her hands on the console. Device glowing. A faint hum filled the room, vibrating through the metal walls. He noticed that the shape on the map began moving. Cautiously, as if it sensed their presence, the human understood. They were being tracked, but not physically. Some energy, some intelligence, was observing them. He shivered, realizing the creature was not just strong, it was smart, and it knew how to use the station against them. "Follow me," the girl said softly, her voice musical, almost soothing. He hesitated. Glancing at the map, seeing the shape moving closer to the living quarters, she gestured firmly, small hand guiding him. He realized she was taking him to a hidden section of the station, a place even the intruder might not see. They moved silently, shadows dancing across walls, the hum of the station like a heartbeat around them. The alien girl's glow illuminated the path, soft and steady, giving him courage. They reached a small maintenance hatch, nearly invisible, and she motioned for him to enter. He crawled inside, following her. Metal scraping under their hands. Inside, the chamber was cold and cramped, filled with old machinery and dust. He noticed faint scratches on the walls, signs of past struggles. The alien girl pressed the device to the wall, and a soft light traced patterns across the surface. The map on the device updated, showing corridors blocked off, passages invisible, and a strange pulse moving toward them. He realized the intruder had adapted to their movements, following their energy signatures. The alien girl's glow brightened and she clicked urgently, pointing at one of the small tunnels. He nodded, understanding that this was their only safe path, yet fear tightened his chest. Knowing that every moment counted, suddenly, the hatch above them vibrated violently. A shadowy form pressed against the metal, leaving deep scratches. The human froze, gripping the alien girl's hand tightly. She hissed, small claws scraping the device. Releasing a pulse of energy, the shadow recoiled, as if the light had burned it. He realized then that her power was not just defensive, it could harm the intruder. The shadow retreated slowly, but its presence remained, waiting for an opportunity. The human took a deep breath, feeling determination grow. He realized they could not hide forever. They had to confront the threat. The alien girl clicked rapidly, small lights flashing from the device. He understood her plan. She was luring the intruder into a trap, using her energy as bait. It was risky, but it was the only chance. He followed her instructions carefully, moving heavy crates and activating old machinery. The device pulsed faster, the map updating as the intruder moved closer. Every movement felt like a heartbeat, every shadow a potential attack. Minutes passed, stretching into long, tense moments. The intruder grew nearer. Its presence felt through vibrations in the metal floor. The alien girl's glow brightened again, intense and almost blinding. He realized she was preparing for a final burst of power. He glanced at her, awestruck by her courage and determination. Together they had survived storms, shadows, and fear, but this was different. This was strategy, intelligence, and raw power combined. The intruder would not expect their move, and that was their advantage. Suddenly, the shadow appeared in the tunnel ahead, massive and intimidating. The alien girl pressed the device against the wall, pulsing energy in rhythm with her heartbeat. The shadow hissed, recoiling from the light. He raised the metal rod, ready to strike. Though he knew the real strength was hers, the alien girl clicked rapidly, small lights flickering like warning signals. The intruder paused, confused by the sudden burst of energy. The human realized then that they had the upper hand. If only for a moment he glanced at the alien girl, seeing determination and trust in her eyes, and he knew that together they could face whatever came next. The device pulsed one final time, projecting a holographic cage of energy. The intruder lunged, but the cage activated instantly. Trapping it in place, the human and the alien girl stepped back. Breathing heavily, the shadow thrashed, trying to escape. But the alien girl's energy held it firmly. He realized that this was more than survival. They had turned the tables. The intruder, smart and powerful, had been outmaneuvered by a human and a small alien girl. He felt pride, a surge of humanity, courage, and trust. The alien girl exhaled softly, glow dimming, leaning against him for support. He wrapped an arm around her, feeling the warmth amidst the cold, harsh station. Outside, the intruder struggled, but it was contained. Unable to escape inside, two beings from different worlds had discovered power in unity. The human knew the station was far from safe, yet for the first time tonight, he felt hope. The alien girl looked up at him, eyes soft but alert, and he realized that no matter what the galaxy sent next, they would face it together, unstoppable and unbroken, for trust, courage, and determination were far stronger than fear. And the galaxy had just witnessed the beginning of something extraordinary. The human and the alien girl stood in the cramped chamber, the shadow trapped in the energy cage outside. The station groaned under the weight of silence, broken only by faint electrical sparks. He looked at her, small hands trembling, eyes glowing faintly. Tonight she had shown him courage, but he knew there was more within her, something raw and untapped. He asked softly, "Are you okay?" She shook her head slightly, small sigh escaping her lips. "I am not fully awakened yet," she whispered, voice trembling with both fear and power. He realized then that her energy was not just defensive, it was dormant, waiting for the right moment. The human felt a surge of awe and curiosity. He had seen courage, intelligence, and power before. But this was something beyond imagination. Her species had abilities humans could barely understand. And now, in the shadow of danger, they were awakening. A low rumble shook the chamber, machinery vibrating underfoot. The shadow outside hissed, thrashing against the cage. Its intelligence was clear. It understood, it calculated, it waited for a weakness. The alien girl placed her hands firmly on the device, pulse syncing with her heartbeat. Lights flared, small at first, then expanding. Bathing the chamber in a blinding glow, the human squinted, feeling energy hum through his veins. The alien girl's eyes widened, glow intensifying. I can feel it. Everything. The station. The energy. The danger, she murmured. He realized she could sense the entire station. Every shadow, every hidden threat. Her small form trembled. But she stood taller, shoulders squared, determination blazing. Suddenly, her glow surged. Brighter than the station lights, the shadow screamed, a sharp, guttural sound that echoed through the metal corridors. The human shielded his eyes, feeling warmth and pressure in the air. The alien girl's energy flared outward, bending the station wall slightly. She clicked rapidly, commanding with her instinct. The energy pulsed following her will, not just illuminating, but shaping reality around them. The human felt a rush of power, an understanding that together, they were more than just survivors, they were unstoppable. The shadow lunged again, faster this time, calculating, testing. The alien girl raised her hands, device glowing like a star. A wave of energy shot forward, hitting the shadow squarely. It shrieked, flinging backward, metal floor denting under its weight. The human realized this was pure force, channeled through her, focused by instinct and will. Her small frame was incredible, fragile yet terrifyingly powerful. He had never seen anything like it, and he knew that whatever else waited in the station, they could face it. Follow me. She clicked urgently, pointing to a side corridor. The human moved with her, stepping carefully through the blinding glow. The shadow regained some composure, circling the cage, calculating again. But the alien girl's energy had changed the rules. It could not move freely. He realized then that she could manipulate energy to trap, block, or attack. It was more than defense. This was strategy, intelligence and power combined. The human felt a surge of confidence, heart pounding. They were no longer hunted. They were hunters now. The corridor opened into a larger chamber, machinery old but functional. She stopped, small hands raised, device glowing intensely. He watched, feeling the hum of energy vibrate through his bones. Her glow illuminated the chamber, revealing strange symbols etched into the walls. He realized this was not just a station. It was a key to understanding her species' power. The alien girl's glow pulsed, interacting with the symbols, lights tracing their outlines. The human noticed small cracks in the walls. Energy reacting to her presence, she clicked rapidly, small lights spinning like stars. The shadow hissed, trapped outside, sensing something it could not touch. Her eyes glowed brighter, almost blinding. He felt awe, fear, and admiration at the same time. Then she spoke, voice steady now, commanding. We are one, strength and mind together. The human realized she meant him, that her awakening was connected to their bond. He felt energy flow into him, not harming but empowering. Their connection had grown stronger, human courage and alien instinct intertwining. The shadow outside shrieked, sensing its weakness. She lifted her hands higher, device pulsing, energy forming a dome around them. The human saw it, light bending, energy flowing like liquid, creating barriers and weapons from nothing. The alien girl's power had fully awakened, small but unstoppable, radiant and fierce. The human raised the rod, realizing it was more symbolic now. Her energy was the real weapon and he was part of it. Together, they could challenge anything, anywhere. The shadow lunged one last time, desperate, calculating. But the alien girl released a final pulse of energy. Bright and focused, the shadow screamed, striking the walls, metal bending, then it fell still. Trapped, defeated by a combination of courage, strategy, and raw, unimaginable power, she exhaled, glow dimming slightly, small hands trembling from exertion. The human knelt beside her, offering support, warmth, and reassurance. Your power. It's incredible, he whispered. Awestruck, she clicked softly, small smile forming, eyes glowing faintly now. Together, we are unstoppable, she said, calm but fierce. The human nodded, feeling a surge of pride and trust. The station was still dangerous, filled with unknown threats. But he knew one truth now. No force in the galaxy could match their partnership. Alien instinct, human courage, trust, and determination, combined, they were invincible. And as the shadows outside faded into the dark, the human and the alien girl stood tall, ready for whatever the galaxy would throw next. The awakening was complete, and the universe had just witnessed the rise of something extraordinary. Something human and alien together, unstoppable, unbreakable, and fierce. The human and the alien girl moved cautiously through the station. Every corridor seemed longer, darker, and filled with whispers of danger. The shadow they had trapped earlier was not the only threat. He could feel it. Metal walls vibrated faintly as if the station itself were alive. She glowed softly, small hands gripping the device, eyes alert, scanning every corner. He followed, rod ready, heart pounding, knowing the next moments would decide everything. Suddenly, a loud alarm blared. Echoing through the empty halls, red lights flashed. Shadows dancing violently across walls and floors. The human's pulse raced. This was no ordinary warning. The station was reacting to them. Or perhaps to their awakening. The alien girl's glow flared. Brighter, more intense. She clicked rapidly. Small lights spinning on the device like stars. He realized she was trying to control the station itself, using its energy to their advantage. But the human knew they had little time. Something was coming. And it was coming fast. From the shadows. A massive form emerged. Larger than the first, its eyes glowed red. Intelligent, calculating, moving with deliberate speed. The human froze for a moment, awestruck by its size and presence. The alien girl stepped forward, small but fearless. Energy radiating from her hands, the creature hissed. Lunging toward them with terrifying speed, he raised the rod. But this time he understood it was not just about fighting. Strategy mattered. She clicked, directing the device, sending pulses of light toward the creature. It staggered, shrieked, then lunged again, more cautious now. The human felt a surge of trust. Her instincts were perfect. Every pulse of energy shaped the battlefield. Guiding, trapping, and pushing. He moved with her, rod swinging, devices activating, metal clanging. The creature growled, frustrated, sensing it had underestimated them. Small sparks flew, walls cracking under the strain. He realized this was more than a fight. It was a test of intelligence and will. The alien girl's glow expanded, illuminating the entire chamber. She clicked faster, lights flickering wildly, creating barriers, traps, and weapons from pure energy. The human followed instinctively, helping her manipulate machinery, opening doors, blocking paths. The creature roared, striking hard, smashing consoles and pipes. The human dodged, rolled, lunged, feeling adrenaline surge through his veins. He glanced at the alien girl, eyes glowing with determination. Together they moved as one. Each step, each action synchronized perfectly. He realized then that their bond was more than trust. It was power multiplied. The creature lunged again, faster than before, smashing a wall near them. Debris flew, metal twisted, alarm screaming. The human yelled, swinging the rod, striking its side. The alien girl released a massive pulse of energy, focused and blinding. The creature shrieked, staggering backward, trapped momentarily in a cage of light. He felt awe, seeing a small alien girl hold a creature twice her size at bay. Her glow pulsed again, brighter, almost like a sun. He realized this was her full power, fully awakened and unstoppable. Then she clicked sharply, pointing toward an escape tunnel, small but clear. He understood immediately. This was their way out. The creature roared one last time, thrashing, breaking some of its bonds. The human and the alien girl sprinted toward the tunnel, energy pulsing behind them. Metal floors shook, lights flickering, alarms blaring. He glanced back, seeing the creature struggle. Slowed by her energy, it lunged once, twice, but could not reach them. The alien girl's glow flared again. Blocking its path with a final pulse, he realized then that they had turned the fight into a trap of their making. They reached the tunnel, narrow and dark but safe for now. The human led rod ready. Alert to every sound, the alien girl followed, small hands glowing faintly, energy still pulsating. The station trembled, debris falling, alarms fading slowly. Outside the tunnel, they could see the lights of the main station fading into darkness. He felt relief but knew danger still lingered. The alien girl looked at him, eyes soft, glowing faintly. She clicked softly, a sound that meant trust, gratitude, and companionship. They moved faster, reaching the surface, the cold air biting their skin. He pulled her close, shielding her from the wind, feeling warmth and courage. The human realized that together, they had survived storms, shadows, and monsters. But more than survival, they had triumphed. The alien girl's glow dimmed slightly, small hands resting on his arm. He felt awe, pride, and admiration, The galaxy was dangerous, unpredictable, but together, they had faced the ultimate threat. Behind them, the station's alarms quieted. The shadow subdued ahead, the stars stretched infinitely, promising new challenges, new battles. The human and the alien girl stepped forward, side by side, ready for whatever came next. He glanced at her, seeing courage, power, and determination in her small form. She clicked softly, small smile forming, glowing faintly. He realized then that humanity and her species had created something extraordinary, not just a bond, not just a partnership, but a force the galaxy could not ignore. Together, they looked at the stars, cold wind whipping around them. He held her hand firmly, understanding that whatever the universe sent next, they would face it as one. Unstoppable, unbroken, and fierce, for courage, trust, and unity were more powerful than fear. And in that moment, he knew their story was only beginning. The human and the alien girl, small but mighty, had survived, triumphed, and awakened. And the galaxy had witnessed something extraordinary, something that no force could ever contain.